Listen, we need to have a serious conversation about something that has genuinely baffled every cat I know for decades. And I don't mean the usual complaints about litter box placement or the criminal negligence of empty food bowls. No, I'm talking about something far more disturbing. Something that defies all logic, wastes approximately 45 minutes of your limited lifespan every single morning, and somehow you've all convinced each other it's normal. I'm talking about making the bed. Yes, you heard me right. Making the bed. Now, before you get defensive, and I know you will, because humans are wonderful at justifying their completely illogical behaviors, let me explain what I've observed from my position of absolute clarity and superior intelligence. Every single morning, without fail, you humans wake up from 8 hours of unconsciousness. You're tired, you're groggy, you're moving slowly because your metabolism hasn't kicked in yet, and yet, instead of immediately going about your day, you spend nearly an hour arranging fabric in a specific way so that your bed looks neat. But here's where it gets truly incomprehensible. About 12 hours later, you're going to get back into that same bed. You're going to mess it up again. The sheets will wrinkle, the pillows will get smushed, the comforter will migrate to the foot of the bed like it's seeking asylum in a warmer climate. And then, and this is the part that really gets me, you'll wake up tomorrow morning and do it all again. It's a Sisyphus situation, but with thread count instead of a boulder. Now, I can already hear the excuses. Oh, but Whiskers, it makes the room look nice. But Fluffy, I like waking up in a tidy space. But Mr. Mittens, it's good for my mental health. And to that I say, have you ever considered the actual evidence? Have you once stopped to analyze whether this is genuinely improving your life, or if you're just following a script written by your ancestors who didn't have Netflix to watch instead? Let me break down what I've observed about your species and this bizarre ritual. It started, and I've done my research here, with Victorian humans. These people were obsessed with social status and appearances. If another human came to your house, you couldn't let them see that you actually slept in your bed. The horror, the scandal. So they invented this whole system where your sleeping place had to look pristine at all times, even though it would be destroyed the moment you used it again. And here's the thing, that was over 100 years ago. Those Victorians are gone. They're not coming to your house anymore. They're definitely not judging your bed situation. And yet, you continue the ritual like you're trapped in a ghost-haunted mansion of your own making. But here's what really gets me, and this is where I need you to sit down and really think about what I'm about to say. I spend approximately 16 hours a day on various soft surfaces, beds, couches, chairs, the clean laundry pile that is absolutely not part of my daily responsibilities. And you know what I've learned? Wrinkled sheets are actually more comfortable. They have texture. They create little pockets and valleys that are perfect for curling up in. They're broken in. They're lived in. They're honest. Your obsession with making the bed isn't about comfort. It's about control. It's about imposing order on something that is inherently designed to be disrupted. It's about creating the illusion that you have your life together when, let's be real, none of us do. Your bed is the one place where you can be completely yourself, disheveled, unconscious, drooling slightly, and yet you're so desperate to deny that reality that you spend 45 minutes every morning pretending it's a pristine hotel room that no one will ever see. And here's the psychological part that actually fascinates me. You're doing this for yourself, but not the self that's actually using the bed. You're doing it for the self that looks at the bed from the doorway. You're performing tidiness for an imaginary audience of one. You're your own strict Victorian mother, haunting yourself. Let me ask you something that might actually change your perspective. When was the last time you got into your perfectly made bed and thought, wow, I'm so grateful for the effort I put into making this morning? Never, right? You get in, you immediately unmake it by existing in it, and you go to sleep. There's no moment of gratification, there's no payoff. It's like spending an hour cooking the perfect meal and then immediately throwing it in the garbage. It's like getting a haircut and then immediately wearing a hat for 7 hours. It's like getting a pedicure and then going hiking. The whole system is designed for failure. You're setting yourself up to lose every single day. And you know what drives me absolutely crazy? You humans have somehow rationalized that this is a good habit. That making your bed is a sign of discipline and success. I've seen your motivational posters. I've read the articles on your internet. Make your bed first thing in the morning and you'll be more productive. A made bed means a made mind. Successful people make their beds. But where's the evidence? Where are the studies comparing the productivity levels of people with made beds versus unmade beds? I'll tell you where they are. Nowhere. Because those studies would show absolutely no correlation whatsoever. You've just collectively agreed that this arbitrary task is important, and now you're all slaves to it. It's like when humans suddenly decided that facial hair on men was either completely unprofessional or completely essential depending on what decade it was. It's all made up. And yet you're all out here, morning after morning, getting your hands tangled in fitted sheets, which I will never understand, by the way. Why make the worst sheet design worse by stretching it over a mattress like some kind of fabric torture device? Here's what I think is really happening. You're all addicted to the ritual itself, not the outcome. The repetition gives you a sense of control. The muscle memory of smoothing sheets and fluffing pillows tells your brain that you're accomplishing something, even though you're not. It's the same reason you keep reorganizing your desk drawers or rearranging furniture. It feels productive. It feels like you're making progress. But progress toward what? A bed that looks nice for the 6 seconds you glance at it before you lie down in it and destroy your hard work? And the craziest part? The absolute most illogical aspect of this entire situation? You don't make your bed for yourself. Not really. You make it for the possibility that someone else might see it. What if a guest comes over? What if someone walks into your bedroom? What if they judge you for having normal, lived-in bedding? But here's where your priorities are completely backwards. When was the last time you judged someone for their unmade bed? Have you ever walked into someone's house, seen their bedroom, and thought less of them as a person? Of course not. You're just worried about being judged the same way, even though you, yourself, would never judge them. It's this collective anxiety we've all agreed to participate in, and it's honestly kind of tragic. I watch you do this, and I think about what I do with my time instead. I find a sunny spot. I lie in it. I stay there for hours. I move when the sun moves. I nap in the afternoon. I spend my evening chaos wrestling with a dust particle or an invisible bug. I groom myself with intention and care. I knock things off shelves to test gravity. I communicate my needs clearly through strategic meowing at 3 a.m. I live in the moment. And you know what? My life is significantly less stressful than yours. So yes, I've given this a lot of thought. I've observed this behavior from multiple angles. I've considered the motivations, the history, the psychological underpinnings, and my conclusion is this. Making your bed every morning is a waste of time, energy, and the finite number of days you have on this planet. It's a habit you maintain because you've been told it's good, not because you've ever actually verified that it is. But here's the thing, and I'm being generous here because I'm actually kind of fond of you humans despite your obvious flaws. I'm not going to sit here and act like you're going to stop doing it. I know better. You're too committed to your meaningless routines. You'll continue making your bed tomorrow morning, and the morning after that, and for the rest of your life. You'll pass this habit to your offspring, who will pass it to theirs, and it will continue indefinitely, a perfect chain of unnecessary productivity that accomplishes absolutely nothing but makes you feel like you're accomplishing something. But at least now, when you're smoothing those sheets tomorrow morning, you'll know what you're really doing. You're not creating comfort or order. You're not impressing anyone. You're not being productive. You're participating in a century-old anxiety ritual that serves no functional purpose whatsoever. And maybe, just maybe, that knowledge will give you a moment of pause. Maybe you'll look at those sheets for just 1 second and think about whether this is really how you want to spend your time. Probably not, but I had to try. Now, since we're already here in the bedroom discussing human irrationality, let me address something that's been bothering me for years, and I mean years. The obsession with bedroom temperature. Specifically, why humans insist on keeping their sleeping environments absolutely frigid. I'm talking about the thermostat situation. You know what I mean. You're all out here setting your air conditioning to Arctic levels every single night, acting like you're some kind of polar bear preparing for hibernation. 68 degrees, 65 degrees. Sometimes, and this is when I know you've truly lost your mind, you go down to 60 degrees. 60 degrees. That's not a bedroom temperature. That's a meat locker. That's a cryogenic chamber. That's the temperature at which rational thought goes to die. And here's what really gets me. You spend all day complaining about being cold. You wear sweaters, you drink hot coffee, you complain to your coworkers about how chilly the office is. It's so cold in here, you say. Someone adjusts the thermostat. You're obsessed with warmth during daylight hours. But the moment the sun goes down, the moment you're about to spend 8 hours unconscious and vulnerable in your bed, suddenly you want it to be like the inside of a freezer. It's backward, it's illogical, it's peak human contradiction, and frankly, it's exhausting to witness. Let me explain why this makes absolutely no sense from a basic biological standpoint. Your body needs to maintain a stable core temperature. I know this. I've watched enough nature documentaries playing on your television while you're gone to understand basic mammalian physiology. When you artificially cool your environment to uncomfortable levels, your body has to work harder to maintain that stable temperature. You shiver, you tense up, your muscles contract repeatedly to generate heat. That's energy expenditure. That's stress on your system. Meanwhile, I'm over here in my warm spot, and yes, I've claimed the warmest spot in your entire house. You're welcome for the free interior design consultation, maintaining my perfect temperature of 98.5 degrees with minimal effort. I'm not fighting my environment. I'm working with it. I'm efficient, I'm logical, I'm comfortable, and I sleep better than you do. You humans have this bizarre relationship with temperature extremes. You think that being cold somehow makes you sleep better, that the Arctic conditions will help you rest more deeply. But that's not what's happening. What's actually happening is you're creating an environment so uncomfortable that your body exhausts itself just trying to stay warm, and that exhaustion you're feeling, that's not good sleep. That's collapse. That's surrender. That's your body giving up and shutting down because it's too tired to keep fighting. There's a difference. I've observed this pattern countless times. You set your thermostat to an insane temperature. You crawl into bed. You pile blankets on top of yourself. You spend the first 20 minutes alternating between being too cold and too warm as you try to find the perfect blanket-to-body ratio. You toss. You turn. You rearrange. You wake up at 3 in the morning because your foot fell out from under the covers and it's freezing. You wake up at 5 because you're overheating under all those blankets. And then you wake up in the morning wondering why you feel like you didn't sleep at all. It's because you didn't. Not really. You didn't sleep. You experienced controlled discomfort for 8 hours while your body fought a temperature war it never needed to fight in the first place. The solution is simple. It's so simple it's almost embarrassing how much you've overcomplicated it. You raise your thermostat. You use lighter blankets. You let your body exist in a state of actual comfort instead of managed crisis. You'll fall asleep faster. You'll stay asleep longer. You'll wake up without that foggy, exhausted feeling that's become so normal you don't even realize it's not supposed to be there. But you won't do this. You'll read this and think, no, that's not right. I need my room cold. Because humans are stubborn. Humans are committed to their own suffering in ways that truly baffle me. You've been trained by betting companies and sleep technology corporations to believe that comfort requires complexity, that good sleep requires investment, that you need special cooling mattress pads and temperature-regulating pillows and weighted blankets and blackout curtains and white noise machines. Do you know what I need for perfect sleep? A warm spot. That's it. A warm spot and the absence of humans making noise. I don't need your $7,000 smart mattress that tracks your REM cycles. I don't need your apps that monitor your sleep quality. I don't need your cooling pillow that costs more than your monthly rent. I need warmth, and I have figured out where all the warmth is in this house, and I've claimed it all. Your bed, your couch, your sunny windowsills, that spot near the heater in winter, that specific cushion that gets the afternoon sun, I know about all of it and I'm wherever the warmth is. And I sleep like I don't have a single care in the world, which, to be fair, I don't. The irony is that you're spending all this money and effort to make yourself uncomfortable, you're paying for the privilege of not sleeping well, you're investing in your own suffering, and for what? So you can feel like you're doing something productive about sleep? So you can feel like you're taking control of your rest? Here's what I've learned from watching humans for all these years. You're obsessed with the illusion of control. You can't control whether you'll actually sleep well, so you control the temperature instead. You can't control your dreams, so you buy the expensive pillow. You can't control your anxiety about not sleeping, so you purchase another gadget to monitor your sleep and prove to yourself that you're not sleeping, which makes you more anxious, which makes you sleep worse. It's a cycle. A beautiful, tragic, completely avoidable cycle. And the worst part? The thing that really gets me, you know this. On some level, you already know this. You've noticed that when you're on vacation and the temperature is slightly warmer and you're not anxious about anything, you sleep better. You've felt it. but you still go home and reset your thermostat to Arctic levels because that's what you're supposed to do. Because that's what everyone does. Because somewhere along the line, someone convinced you that discomfort equals quality. They were wrong, and you know it. So here's what I want you to do, and I'm being serious now. This week, just this week, I want you to experiment. Keep your bedroom at 68 degrees. Not 62, not 65, 68. Wear actual pajamas instead of whatever Arctic survival gear you've convinced yourself is normal. Open a window if you can. Let the air move. Let yourself feel comfortable for once without feeling guilty about the electricity bill. Then tell me what happens. Because I already know. You'll sleep better, you'll wake up less, your anxiety will drop, your body will actually repair itself instead of spending 8 hours stressed and shivering and wondering why you feel like garbage. And when that happens, when you realize that the cat was right all along, you're going to feel something. Maybe it's relief, maybe it's anger at all the years you wasted, maybe it's both. But you'll also realize something bigger. You've been living according to rules that don't serve you. Rules about what's normal, rules about what's acceptable, rules that someone else made up and you've just been following because questioning them felt too hard. That's the real issue. Not the temperature, not even the sleep. It's that you've stopped listening to yourself. You've stopped noticing what your body is telling you. You've replaced intuition with ideology. You've traded comfort for compliance. And yes, I'm a cat. Yes, I spend 16 hours a day sleeping in whatever position feels best at whatever temperature makes my spine happy. But I'm not saying this because I'm special. I'm saying this because I'm honest. Because I don't care if someone thinks my sleep preferences are weird or lazy or indulgent. I sleep well, I wake up energized, I'm not anxious about whether I'm doing it right, and I move through the world with actual confidence. You could have that too. But it starts with the thermostat. It starts with admitting that maybe, just maybe, the 7-foot-tall predator who sleeps on your bed knows something about rest that your anxiety doesn't. So what are you waiting for? The permission to be comfortable? You have it. From me, from science, from your own body, which has been screaming this at you for years. Set that thermostat to 68. Wear those pajamas. Stop checking your phone at midnight. Stop pretending that suffering is a virtue. And most importantly, stop letting your discomfort convince you that you're doing something right. Because you're not. You're just doing something familiar, and familiar isn't the same as good. Your sleep matters. Your comfort matters. Your body matters. And if a cat has to be the one to tell you that, then maybe we're all in more trouble than I thought. But there's hope. There's always hope. Because right now, as you're listening to this, you can feel the temperature of your room. You're probably noticing it for the first time in months. You're probably realizing that it's not quite right, that it's a little too cold, that your body has been trying to tell you something. Listen to it. That's the cat way. That's the path to actual rest, not the path of suffering and self-denial. Not the path of following rules you don't believe in, but the path of listening, adjusting, and having the courage to be comfortable. Thank you for letting me rant about your thermostat. Thank you for sticking with me through this absolute lecture about the most basic thing your body needs. And thank you for being willing to question whether everything you're doing is actually serving you or just serving some invisible standard you can't even remember agreeing to. If this video resonated with you, if you felt that little spark of recognition when I described your midnight anxiety spiral, then please hit that subscribe button. Because we've got so much more to talk about, so many more aspects of your life where you're making it harder than it needs to be, and I'm here to call you out on every single one of them. And if you're feeling generous, leave a like on this video. It helps other people find their way to the cat's perspective, and honestly, the world needs that right now. And please, turn on those notifications. Hit that bell icon so you never miss when we go live with a new episode. Because trust me, the next topic is going to make your thermostat rant look tame. This is Pause and Judgment reminding you, your comfort is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And if a cat has to keep telling you that, then I'll keep showing up to do it. Sleep well. Set that thermostat to 68, and stop pretending that suffering is somehow noble.